guys, welcome back to Flat Faces.
Hey guys, it's Lamar here with Atalia back today. She's going to be our model. I wanted to do a quick on-the-job tiger. I noticed that a lot of people are struggling with tigers. And my honest opinion is that sometimes, you know, less is more. You don't always need that much makeup. And honestly, the less makeup you use, the better for the kid. You know, they're not sitting in your chair with layers and cakes of makeup on. Because when it dries, then it starts to crack, you know, or it's itchy. So I find when it's lighter, it's much more appealing to the eye, and it's easier to apply. So with all of that being said, I guess it's just personal choice, but I started off, when I first started face painting, using just way too much water, way too much paint, and at the end of the day, I was just wasting it. So anyhow, this is just a quick, easy version of an on-the-job tiger, so I hope you like it. I'm going to be using Paradise White for this. I always use Paradise for any kind of base work. I'm just going to give my cake a little spritz. Be using a little kabuki brush. Pick up a little bit of that color on the end of my brush there. Don't even need a ton. I just swirled around in it a few times. Turn towards me. A little bit towards me, baby. There we go. Okay. I'm going to start, turn your head towards me, Liv. I'm going to start right here on her nose. And as you can see, my paint is not very wet. It's dry. It's nice and dry. Do you need a cough? Thank you. Turn towards me. Well, you can turn back to the camera here in a second. I just want to get this down. So I'm putting down her muzzle. Nice and easy. And I'm dragging this up. Turn that way.
Halloween.
Another little quick spritz. Oop, and I got you good this time.
She was baby.
Sorry, okay, turn back towards me. Close. I'm going to go right over her eye. And I'm going to drag the color up. Same thing on this side. I'm going to go right over the eye. Is that hurting you? It's a soft brush, right? Cookies are nice and soft. Think of anything. Kids are just kind of scared to have things on their eyes sometimes, so sometimes you can skip the part of doing it on the eyes. Close again. And I just kind of drag it out, blend it down into the muzzle, and then I also drag it up on the center of the forehead there, just like that. And that's it. I mean, it's like I said, it's not very heavy. You don't need a ton. You just need a little bit to outline that muzzle. You can easily do that with star blends as well.
It doesn't feel like anything's on the face.
It doesn't feel like anything's on the face. The parents will thank you for that later. The kids appreciate it. You're wasting less makeup, and in my opinion, it's just much easier to blend. This is a little star blend and a lollipop brush. Or what are the smoothie blenders?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different names for them. I'm just going to get a little bit on there, and I'm just going to show you basically how it's pretty much the same thing. You know, you can just come in here, you can clean up any edges, and I just like how soft the powder is. Plus, it's made for, you know, like theater makeup. So it's like for being under those hot lights. For tigers, when they're in a full face, they're all day running around. This is what will last, the star blends. It's going to last better, it's not going to be as itchy, and if you put the powder on top of your wet paint, it pretty much sets it, you know? So it's definitely a good thing to have nearby to help smooth out any edges. Okay, with all of that being said, that usually takes no time at all. You can get a tiger done in about 2 minutes, honestly. A quick tiger, sorry baby, 2 minutes. I'm going to spritz my cake. Give that a little go, and I spritz my sponge here. And now I'm just going to load up this sponge.
But I didn't know what color you're using.
This split cake is called Tigger. It is a rainbow cake by Sillyfarm. And I'm going to give it one more spritz and just make sure I get a good load. That way I don't have to come back into my cake at all. Okay? Alright, turn towards me. I'm going to start right here on the tip of the head, and as you can see, this split cake has white. It's like a silvery white towards the bottom, so it will blend in with our muzzle. So we start here And I kind of do almost like a rainbow kind of shape. Just tap that down. Don't need a ton. Okay, turn towards me. And we're going to come right underneath the eye here. And we're just going to fill in this space on the cheek. I'm going to give my sponge a little pinch. That way I get the orange down where I want it. And then I'm just going to drag that up on the temples. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Turn towards me. Close your eye, baby. Thank you. Like I said, you don't need to cover the whole face. It's really not necessary. And honestly, it looks a lot better in pictures if you have your design squished. You know, if it fits towards the center of the face. You can't see all of this on the side of your face anyways in pictures. But do you see how easily that blended in with the white? I mean, I really didn't have to put much effort into that at all. Turn back towards me. I'm going to get this spot a little bit better. And I did this all with one load. I mean, my sponge is still pretty wet, but it was just enough. Do you see? You don't need a ton of makeup, just a little bit. All right. So now at this point, all we have to do is go in and put in some stripes. For that, I'm going to use a number 4 round. I just have this. I do like to use a thicker brush sometimes for my tiger stripes, but this will work. I have it in my hand. And I'll be using wolf black for this. I use wolf black and wolf white for line work only. I do not ever use them for base. I highly recommend using a more transparent paint, something that's a little bit more softer, something that you can blend a little bit more easier. Wolf paint is much more pigmented, so once you put it down on the skin, like, it's down, it's on the skin, and they're white as could be. I am not into the whole clown makeup look. I think the makeup should be, the face paint should be soft. It should be pretty. It should blend in with the skin. There's no reason for it to look like a clown. So for this top stripe, I usually start in the middle of the forehead here. Just warn me that you need to sneeze. Okay. All right. I'm going to start right here in the center of the head, and I'm just going to wiggle a little line up and bring it to a point. So it's all about being very organic. Almost, you know, let it fluid, just move naturally, you know. No real rhyme or reason. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to match. So that's the first one I usually start with. And then close your eye, love. And then I like to outline my eyes. And I give that a big one. And I cut right through the brow there. Okay. And close. I'm going to start on the corner of the eye. And wiggle, cut right through the brow. I'm just pressing nice and hard. And then lift up so I get to that fine point again. Okay. Alright, so right in these two empty spots, go ahead and turn back towards the camera. I'm going to start here, I'm going to pull up, and then I'm going to wiggle one back down. And do another little one right there. Okay, same thing on this side, come up, and then grab that same one and pull down. Left a little bit of room for a small little stripe there. Alright, turn back towards the camera. Now from this one that we created on the eye here, I'm going to grab it from the top here and wiggle it down. Now if you have time, you can certainly go around the eye and almost do like eyeliner, especially if you're doing this like on a teenager or an adult. I would recommend that. But for kids, they don't much like having paint around their eyes, so I will stop there. I mean, you've outlined the eye, you gave her that cat shape, and that's what we're after. Okay, same thing on this side. I'm going to grab it from where this point is at the top, and I'm just going to wiggle and flick in. So we outlined our eye. Nice and simple. Okay, now we're going to finish off the stripes on each side. So I'm going to do one that comes in towards her center of her face, and then it kind of flicks and frames the eye. One in the middle that comes centered and comes straight out. And then I like to do one more that will frame the muzzle. So I have it go up, and I give a little wiggle and have it come down. Just like that.
Now we need to
Turn towards the camera so they can see that. Turn your face that way, baby. Okay, there we go. See those stripes? Nice and easy. You just got room for 3 of them down there. That's what I always have room for. The 3. Okay, so let's do the same thing on this side. Get the little hair out of here. So this first one, I start right here on the cheekbone. I wiggle up, flick up, grab it from that same center, and follow that eye. So you're pretty much just following around that same pattern. You want to frame the face. That's what makes it look pleasing. The center one, I always just give a little wiggle and pull it straight. And we got room for our last little one. And I'm going to start it right here on her cheek and flick it down, grab it from the center, and flick it up. There we go.
Beautiful.
Okay, so there's our stripes. You can always come in and add a little dots. Those are always fun. You can dress this up any way you want to. And it's nice when, of course, they're all different variations. Yeah, variations in sizes. Everything looks better when you kind of give it a variation. Sometimes I do teeth, sometimes I don't. If I have a long line, I'll just skip that. I won't even offer it. But we do got to finish off the muzzle and the nose. So for that, I usually start with the muzzle. I'm going to start right in the corner of her mouth, right here. I'm going to pull it up and drag it towards this line that we created right on her eye. Okay, just relax your face. Don't smile, babe. Perfect. So you start with a very light pressure. Press. You want it to come a little bit thicker. And lift up on your brush. Everything looks better when you vary your lines from thick to thin. Start on the corner of the mouth. Light pressure. Press. And pull up.
Just like that.
Just like that. Now for her little whiskers, you have a couple different options with those. You can just pull some straight lines in. Let me clean this side up a little bit. It was hard to paint from that angle. I'm going to make this one a little bit thicker to match. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just do some little wiggles in. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it is a little bit dry. Get some more water here. Okay, little wiggles in. Now we got to do her nose. For the nose, I like to keep that very cat-like. So I just follow the natural shape of her nose. And start right here. And we'll pull that. Turn towards me, honey. I cannot paint from that angle. I just can't. I'm trying. I was trying for the camera. Sorry, guys. I'm basically just following the shape of her nose. And you come down. So it's like a little U on the bottom. Don't fill that in. You want it to be cat-like. You fill in the nostril area. And then, from that, you can look back at the camera. I can paint from right here. So while your brush is still, it's drying off a little bit, now you can grab some lines and pull them up. Turn towards me so I can make sure I got those even. And just like that. So now she has a cute little tiger nose.
You can kind of see it on camera.
Yeah, you can see the little drag lines. And then for the part in the middle, what we're going to do is I am going to drag, and just relax your lips normal. I'm just going to drag a straight line down and then drop my brush. So it's kind of like a backwards teardrop, if that makes sense. I'm going to fill in that little area there. There we go. Finish that part in the middle. You can add little dots in here. You can add glitter. You can jazz this up. We can add lips. Most little girls will request lips. Color, and I recommend red lips for an orange tiger. It looks the best in my opinion.
What's white?
I have some red over here. It just sets off the tiger so nicely. This is a Crevlon creamy red. Turn towards me, love. I cannot paint that way. I'm sorry. I know, you're trying to be a good model and look at the camera, and it's just not working out. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, don't talk, lovey, because I'm trying to paint on your lips. This is like the hardest thing, right? Painting on a kid's lips, I swear. Turn this way. Thank you. I think you guys all know how to do lips, or you all struggle with them the same way I do. It's one or the other. Oh, your lips are dry too, love. You need some chapstick in your life. Okay, so there is our pretty tiger with the pretty red lips. I mean, you can do your stripes, you can do your tiger any which way you want to. This is my quick on-the-job tiger. Kids always love it. Parents are always really impressed. It's super easy, it's super quick. It's not a ton of makeup. We used one kabuki brush, we used one round brush, and we used one sponge with one split cake. You know, it can't get any easier than that, and it just blended all by itself. I didn't even have to do anything, and when you use less makeup, it does it by itself. I mean, it just makes it a lot easier. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that will help you make your tigers, and we'll see you next time with another tutorial from Fat Faces. Say bye!
Bye!